monastic ethics are very wide. They are recorded in the one Buddhist text is called the Vinaya. Altogether, 5-volume books. There are 227 rules for the monks to observe and to apply. For the female monastic, there are 311 rules. All these rules for the monastery are called Patimokkha. Patimokkha means liberating rules. Pati, the one who observe, Mokha, it liberates. So it means that the monks, the monastic and both male and female monastic, once they follow these rules, it will lead them to the attainment of the progress in their spiritual path. But there are different kind of level of the rules. Some are very serious, grave offense, which is called a parajika. And next level of the offense are called the sanghadisesa. And the third level of the offense called the nisekhiya. And the fourth level is called the pachetiya. But it will be a little bit confusing for you. So I want to leave it as it is. You can only, I want to advise you to read through this chapter so that you can understand and got some idea regarding the monastic rules. Monastic rules are very detailed. Buddha stipulated all these rules during his lifetime, depending on the conditions in connection with the different situations that comes up. So I want to give the monastery rules brief. Then I want to explain you the precept for the novice. Precept for the novice are more simple and easy for the young people who come into the monastic order. They are altogether 10 precepts. 10 precepts: abstaining from killing, abstaining from stealing, abstaining from intercourse, abstaining from lies, abstaining from alcohol, narcotic drugs, abstaining from eating from afternoon before next day dawn, and abstaining from dancing, singing, playing musical instrument, and enjoying entertainment show. Also the number 8 rules, abstaining from purifying oneself by using flower, makeup, and perfume. And number 9 is abstaining from using luxurious beddings and furniture. And number 10, abstaining from handling gold and silver. These are very basic. A novice is like a under trainee, a beginner into the spiritual life. So the rules are not exhaustive and not complex. It's easy to observe. They are very much similar to the layman's ethic. Layman's ethic and the fast 8. Fast 8 are already in the layman's ethic. And also number 9 is also in the 8 precepts. Okay, so ethic for the novice is very simple. Now let me explain ethics for laity. For the lay people who are leading a household life, they have to take care of their family. They have to work. They have to do their livelihood. And so the rules are more relaxed. In this case, there are 2 precepts for the lay people. The first one is basic precepts. You can read it on the page. Number one, basic precept. And number two, special precepts. Basic precepts are minimum requirements to live a moral life. Usually they are five precepts. Five precepts are very important foundations for being a good person, for having a good family, happy family, for making a good society. Among the five precepts, I'm sure you are already familiar with the five precepts: not killing, not stealing, no adultery for the Maori people, and Maori people as well, and for abstaining from lies and abstaining from alcohol and drug use. And these five precepts are meant for the promoting well-being of a person or also of a family and of a society. In Buddhist texts, of these five precepts, telling lie is the basic of all evil. Lying is the basic of all evil. In Buddhist texts, one must try to observe the five precepts. First of all, being honest and being truthful is basic of every good thing. Sometimes there are questions among the devotees. Which one is the worst? Actually, all the precepts are very good. And committing all these acts are bad. But basically, telling lie is the basic foundation of all evil. In the Dhammavara, Buddha said, a person who never afraid to tell lie, who never have any concept of the afterlife, will be ready to do whatever evil thing. According to this Dhammavara words of the Buddha, telling lie is the basic of all evil. And killing, stealing, adultery are bad, and because they can also lead to a lot of the unhappy consequence and negative results. So the telling lie is number one primary important precepts to observe, and then to observe, it's necessary to observe all those five precepts. If a person can observe the five precepts, he is like a, an angel, a divine being. His destiny after this life will be a good reward because he never did any kind of bad deeds all his life. Observing the five precepts, his family will be also a happy family. All these five precepts are minimum requirement for everyone as a lay person. So that should be enough to understand these basic precepts. Okay, now let's go ahead to the next steps. Next steps. Next page. Okay, now, 8 precepts. 8 precepts for adults and youths. This is for young people and young adults, especially those who are still pursuing their education. In these precepts, basic 5 precepts are added with the three more precepts: killing, stealing. These are in the 5 precepts. A practice of celibacy. Practice of celibacy, number 3 precept. I want to explain this. Practice of celibacy means the abstaining from sexual pleasure and sexual thing. This is a practice because a young person needs to focus on his progress, on his study, on his education. So this is number three precepts is included. And number four, abstaining from telling lie. Abstaining from telling lie is this Bhava precepts to have a good speech. Number five, abstaining from slandering. This is also intended to improve good character of the speech. And number six precepts, abstaining from harsh speech. And number seven, abstaining from telling useless talk. These are all these four precepts are to improve one's speech quality so that it becomes wholesome speech. A young person will try to speak only wholesome thing, and this way he can be happy, he can improve his moral conduct and good character. And number eight is abstaining from making wrong livelihood. This one is usually for young people who are already earning a living. So all these eight precepts can be observed by all young people, from children to those who are not having a married family life. These eight precepts are called Ajiva Tamaka Sila. Ajiva means livelihood. Tamaka means the eight. And Sila means preserve. Preserves where the livelihood is the number eight. It is actually not killing, not stealing, and restraining from the uh, sexual activities, and also the poor, bhave, wholesome speech, and making right livelihood. Altogether, these eight rules are for unmarried adults and young members of the community. Now, special precept. Let's go ahead to the special precepts. Okay, special precepts are intended to be observed on certain days, mostly on the Sabbath day. According to Buddhist calendar, there are 4 Sabbath days every month. 4 Sabbath days, full moon day and white moon day, and also new moon days, and every 8 day, every 8 day. But in the ancient time, people observed and on those 8 days. Sometimes some very committed people, they observe on the eve of the full moon and after the full moon day. So altogether they add 4 more days. For some people, they even observe these 8 precepts on the long periods, in the long periods, especially during the Buddhist Lent. Buddhist Lent usually happen from July to September. Um, but most people, they just observe only on certain Sabbath days. Nowadays, for very busy people, it is impossible to observe all these 8 precepts on full-time basis. So they just observe on certain day, such as the special occasion, their birthday, or during special retreat time, they observe these 8 precepts. When we observe the 8 precepts, we have to follow these 8 precepts: not kill, abstaining from killing, abstaining from stealing, abstaining from sexual act, abstaining from telling lies, abstaining from alcohol and narcotic drugs, and abstaining from eating between the midday, afternoon and until next day dawn, and abstaining from dancing, singing, playing music, enjoying entertainment, beautifying oneself, etc. These are imposed because when a person is interested or doing such kind of in entertainment show or dancing and singing, etc., the mind will be distracted. The mind will be distracted, and also there will be a lot of the thoughts, a lot of the impure thoughts coming up, such as desire and craving, etc. In order to prevent such kind of unnecessary distraction, such kind of incidents of unwholesome mental state, a devotee has to observe the number 7 precept of the no dancing, no singing, no musical instrument, no entertainment. So we have to understand that sometimes, and some people in the West, they view it, as something. Buddhism is against arts, against music, against entertainment, etc. Actually, not so. During such an important time of the fasting and observing this 8 precept, one is necessary to abstain from music and singing and seeing entertainment show. At other times, it's okay. So luxurious bed. Why a person has to avoid luxurious bed and luxurious furniture? The purpose is to practice austerity, to humble oneself, to devote more time to practice meditation, to spiritual purity. This is the purpose, and abstaining from the all luxurious wedding. So these are called 8 precepts. Nowadays, most devotee, they add one more precept. This one more precept is called the Metta, loving kindness meditation. When one practice loving kindness meditation, occasionally during the fasting time on the spot day, it earns more merit for him. It also lead him to the more spiritual purity and more spiritual energy. So when we do fasting, especially as a layman, we observe not only 8 precepts, we include Metta meditation. This way it becomes 9 precepts. This is called the Nawanga Ubosta, which is very beneficial for meditation and for also the blessings. In Buddhist text, if a person can maintain morality, good morality, unbroken morality, without any disruption, his wish will be fulfilled, and like one's wish, one's prayer become the fulfilled. Regarding this, Buddha said in Buddhist text, HD Bhikkhve Sila Vato Cheto Paniti Visuddhasta. Anyone who have a good unbroken morality can have his wish fulfilled because his spirit is pure. In other religions, they used to refer to as the prayers, answering the prayer. In Buddhism also, we can have a person's wish fulfilled. If a person is pure person, having good moral and good practice, then he can have his wish fulfilled. This is what is said in Buddhist text. Okay, now, and let me start it and let me explain the next process. Next process of the, okay. Okay, altogether we have this ethic is complete. Now let's go to chapter 9. Let's go to chapter 9. let's go to chapter 9. Okay, politics, economic, and society. We have run through this chapter actually in the previous week, but I want to explain you politics, economic, and society from the Buddhist perspective. Politics is a very wonderful pursuit for those with good intention, for those with a lot of goodwill. Buddha has fulfilled his parami, his good deeds, with a single purpose to help suffering people, to save all living beings from suffering, to lead all suffering beings to the happiness and to every kind of well-being. So if a person has a lot of goodwill, that person's politic is very wholesome. But nowadays it has become very complex. Some people they become interested in politics only for the power, only for the authority, only for certain worldly benefits. So we have to understand that in order to have a good politic, it must be based on goodwill. Goodwill for well-being of others, to goodwill to promote well-being and happiness of the other people. If we have such kind of goodwill and goodwill base, then that politic can be very wholesome. And I have explained in these notes about this basic important thing. Bad politics, for example, lead to a lot of the problems in the economy. A good politic, people who are farsighted and based on goodwill, if they do very good things, which is called a good politics, it can lead to good results. Only good politics can have a good government. So a government with a bad administrative character, poorly conceived policy, very executed action is a disaster for everyone. A government with the right and relevant policy, uh, effective action, and far-sighted action can lead to well-being of everyone in the society. So politicians are system and people who implement that system. In order to have good politics, it must be based on goodwill. In order to be a good politician, they have to have goodwill, good intention. That's a basic important thing. Okay, now let's turn to next page. Let's turn to next page. Okay, here, stop. Okay, good politics in Buddhism. This is very brief, important principle explained in Buddhist texts. Good politics in Buddhism is based on 10 principles. I have explained in these notes. The first one is called dana, act of charity to the needy and those in the suffering. This action is also very important. But as a government, they have to do this through different channels, different means. Giving outright donations are not necessary. Only the act of charity, act of sharing is very important. And number two, silat, moral integrity. The leaders need to have good moral integrity, strong moral integrity, and moral principle. Without strong moral integrity and moral principle, the leaderships will not receive public trust. So number 3 is called the Prichaga. Pri means all around. Jaga means sharing. So public sharing. Distribution of the necessary funds and necessary assistance. Not only fund, necessary assistance to various kind of people in every sector of the society, such as economy, education, health, agriculture, and trade. There are many aspects of society to help by government. This is what is called the Prichaga. Pri means all around. Saga means assistant. So assistant in every way and every aspect of society. So that that society can progress and prosper. And number 4, but in Pali is called Ijwa. Ijwa means being straightforward. Being straightforward. In today's time, people use another term, transparency. Transparency, there's no secret dealings. Just only everything is above board and straightforward action. So the being straightforward and being transparent is a foundation of a good government, a good administrative system. And number 5 is Madhwa. Madhwa is originally, it means that being polite and being good, not using the harshness. Madhwa means the opposite of the harshness. So a government must not be very harsh and ruthless in dealing with the people. It must be polite and skillful in public communication and public relations without resorting to any kind of force, any kind of the use of force, except in certain cases. So Madhwa is a very important principle. Being polite and skillful, not using force all the time. And number 6, Tapa. Tapa means austerity. Austerity and modesty, especially in matters of the usage of the fan, and also in living life. If a leader live a very extravagant life, like the millionaire, it's not good. His lifestyle must always respect to the general conditions of the public life. This way, that leadership will receive a lot of trust and a lot of respect. So number 7, Agoda. Agoda means without anger. So a true leader must not be temperamental. A true leader must be always well behaved. He must not behave in the hot temper and short temper or quick temper. If a leader is very temperamental and very much used to be angry with the people, then that's not a good leadership. A good leader is full of goodwill and compassion toward the people. So this is one important quality of a leader. Opposite of this, you can see in the dictators and totalitarian states where the leaders always suppress, always control the people's opinions and speech. In a good government and a good leadership, practice of goodwill is very important. Without it, things will become bad. People start having bad feelings to their leaders. You can see this in a lot of situations in part of the war where the leaders are very much temperamental and hot temper. They yell at their own uh, staff. No good will come out. So a good leader must be full of goodwill. His action must be based on goodwill and loving kindness. Now, number 8 principle, ahimsa. Means not. Ahimsa means torturing, not torturing, not causing pain to the people. Not causing pain to the people is number 8 principle. If a government is always trying to cause mental pain and suffering because he cannot take any timely action in certain situation, critical situation, then people will suffer. So this principle is very big principle. A government must not cause inconvenience, mental pain, and frustration to its own people. This is what it means. Sometimes some people translate this one as physical violence toward their people, such as using force by means of the soldier, police, etc. It is a big word with a lot of meanings. So ahimsa means not causing physical inconvenience and mental suffering to people. When a person can fulfill this principle, that government and those people will progress and prosper. And number 9, khanti. Khanti means being patient. Being patient. A good leader must be patient. He must not be upset easily. He always behave with a lot of good conduct and good manner based on patience. This is a number 9 principle. They must have the patience, determination in carrying out public duty and doing good things for the benefit of the country, for the benefit of people. So this work is also very deep and very big word. They not only need to be patient, they also need to be determined, patience in carrying out public duty for the benefit of people. So patient on the personal level, patient on the governmental level, and implementing the good things for the people. Now, the last one, avirodhana, not going against public consensus and public sentiments. This is also very important policy. Means not. Virodhana means opposing, not opposing, not going going against the majority or the public opinion. If a leader, such as a king, or a president or prime minister or a government can follow this 10 principle, that leadership will be good leadership. This is what it means by this 10 principle. In Buddhist, they are called the Raja Dharma. Raja means the king or the leaders. Dhamma means the way, the righteous ways of the king and the leaders. If they can follow this 10 important principle of the government, that government and that leadership will be a good government and good leadership. Okay, now let's conclude. I hope you have a some idea regarding good government from the Buddhist perspective. Okay, now let's go ahead to the next chapter. Okay, here teacher, people ethic or interpersonal ethic. This is also a very big subject, chapter 10. Teachers versus people ethic or interpersonal ethic. These ethical rules are set by the Buddha to a young person who is the son of a wealthy family. That young person is called the Singala. Buddha taught him how to look after each other in a society, as a family or as a society. In this note, I have explained some basic aspect of the society. How each member of the society is like a important parts in a big machine. A big machinery have the various parts, mechanical parts. All these mechanical parts must function properly so that the whole machine can function and can operate smoothly. If a person fails to fulfill necessary rule and necessary principle, then some sort of the misfunction will come up. That is what the Buddha want to say. Everybody, even the monks, are required to fulfill this responsibility. As you all understand, the monks have no family and they are not related to anyone. People offer support to the monk. So the monk received support from the lay devotees. They have responsibility to fulfill. They cannot remain cut off from the society. They have to fulfill. Even the Buddha fulfill his responsibility. He has no more family member to think about, but he always think about a larger public, a very big scale. And that's why he make very strong commitment for the public well-being, not out of a desire to impress, not out of a desire to receive something in return. He never ever expect anything in return from the people. His actions are based on great goodwill, great compassion. Even though we may not be able to follow the footsteps of the Buddha, we must try to follow the example of the Buddha, fulfilling one's own responsibility. Okay, now we can have a break time. We can have a break time. Let's have a break time.
All right. Were you what, 15 minutes?
Let's have a break time. Yes, 15 minutes. Okay, Ari.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's resume our class.
Okay.
Now let me continue with the interpersonal ethic. The first ethical responsibility is between the parents and children. Parents play a very important role in bringing up their children. Good parents will make good children. There's an old saying. That saying is very relevant and very wonderful. You have to be a good child in order to be good parents. This is the first saying. And you have to be good students in order to be a good teacher. This is the second saying. And you have to be a good employee in order to be a good employer. These three sayings show that it is very important to have a good foundation. In the same way, good parents happen out of being good children. They are interrelated. Responsibility of the parents to their children are taught by the Buddha as 5 responsibilities. The first responsibility is to restrain the children from whatever is wrong and evil. In Buddhist, it is said, Papa Niwariti. Papa from bad things, Niwariti prevents and restrains. And number 2 responsibility is teach them whatever is right and good. Not only teach, they must also let them do it. In Pali, it's called Kalyani Niwesedi. Kalyani add good and righteous thing. Niwesedi, it means to impose or to let them do whatever is right and good for their own good, for the good of their future. And number 3 is provide them good education. Because without education, they will not be able to survive life. Survive life is very important. In order to survive in this life, one need to develop necessary skill necessary knowledge. Without it, it's very difficult to survive the daily life and the real world. So they must provide good education and necessary training. And number four, parents have them get suitable marriage. This may be a little bit strange in today's contemporary world, but in ancient India, it is a custom to arrange marriage of their children. Even nowadays, you can see in the Indian families and then some families from the very traditional society, they still arrange marriage of their children. But in the West, it is a strange concept. The purpose is to get them good companion, suitable companion for their life. And number five responsibility is to pass inheritance, to give them the necessary share of the inheritance, and the right and due time. These are the five responsibility. They are generalized responsibility, even though there are a lot of the responsibilities for the parents. In Buddhist texts, parents are compared to the early teachers. In Bali, it's called Pobba Ajriya. Pobba means early. Ajriya means teacher, early teacher of the children. Even before the children go to the kindergarten or primary school, the parents has to teach them how to eat properly, how to clean oneself properly, etc. Sometimes the parents are compared to the uh, Brahma in Bali. Brahma is equivalent word of the God. Parents are like the gods of the children because they have a lot of goodwill, they have compassion, they have love, and they have joy, and they also have equanimity. These four qualities are very wholesome qualities of the uh, noble people. So parents have this quality. They have their great compassion on their children. When they cannot speak, when they cannot communicate, the children's the only way of communicating with the parent is crying, and making noise. And the parents has to check what's wrong with the children. So they have a lot of compassion. And also they have a lot of goodwill to their children. They want the best of everything in the world for their children. You can't ask this question to every parent, especially a mother. A mother always wants the best, to bring the best of everything in the world for her child. So they have a lot of the goodwill. And also they have a lot of joy. What kind of joy? Unselfish joy. When the children, when a child is smiling and happy, and the mother is happy, the mother is joyous. When the children are playing by themselves, the mothers and the parents are happy. They have a joy, unselfish joy. When the children become grown up and who can live on their own, the parents have equanimity attitudes. So they have this kind of wholesome, co-wholesome mental states, Metta, goodwill, Karuna, compassion, Mudita, unselfish joy, and Ubeka, equanimity. So they are compared to the God, compared to the Brahma, the holy angel in the high heaven. And sometimes the parents are compared to the great great people who deserve the hospitality of the children, hospitable treatment of the children. So all these are just only some of the uh, things I want to share with you. So pie responsibility of the parent, restrain them from wrong and evil, teach them and let them do whatever is right and good, um, provide good education, and plan a suitable marriage, and also share inheritance at the right time. Now, the reciprocal duty of the children to the parents. This is also very, very important to know. In Buddhist, it's called Pado no Bridri. Bado, in the way parents brought up, Bridri, the children must take care of the parents. In the same way, the parents have taken care of the children. This is number one responsibility. And number two, Kaichangwa no Christi. Do whatever necessary matter for the parents in the same way they did with their children. So number two responsibility is do whatever is needed for the parents in the same way they did. And number three, Kula Wanso Chiran Titiri. This is the Pali quote. Kula Wanso family lineage. Family lineage. In this case, what does it mean by family lineage? Traditions, custom of the parents must be respected. And trying to preserve family traditions and family lineage and custom, including the racial lineage, racial lineage. So it's a little bit weird and strange from the viewpoint of the Western concept. It means that, for example, if your parents are Buddhist family, come from the Buddhist background, trying to respect your parents' belief and your parents' religion. This is what it means. And also respect parents' cultural traditions, spiritual traditions. So altogether, cultural tradition, spiritual traditions, you respect and preserve. And number four, Dayajam Patipajayati in Pali. Dayajam means family inheritance, family material assets owned by the family and passed to the children must be managed wisely so that the children can keep those kind of physical material heritage of the parents. If the children cannot maintain family inheritance, if they squander, and they will become poor and they will be bad children from this perspective. Now, number five is more concerned with doing religious thing for the parent. It means pray and perform meritorious deeds in memory of parents when they have passed away. What is the purpose of this? When the parents are alive, you can take care of them, you can help them, you can look after them, you can do whatever is necessary. But when they are no more in the world, you cannot give anything to them because they already gone. There's no physical existence. There's no physical presence of the parents in the world. So the only way you can do is to do good deeds in memory of them, in honor of them. At the same time, if you are doing some good deeds, you just share the merit. You just share the merit to the parents. This is what we need to, what do we need to do? So you have to perform meritorious deed. And it is the custom in the Buddhist families. When the parent, one of the parents pass away, they have to do charitable deed and pray for the parents. From the viewpoint of the Western concept, it may be a little bit difficult to understand. But from the viewpoint of Buddhist teaching, and you will understand why. Now I want to explain you a little bit. When people die, especially the parents or one's family members, sometimes they go to, they may be reborn in the another reward, good reward, etc. But some people, parents, they still keep watch on their children, even though the children cannot see them. They may remain with them, not in physical, human physical existence. So in this case, it is very beneficial for them to pray for them. In Buddhist death, there are 5 kind of rewards, destinations in Buddhist death. The first one is called the human world. Some people come back to human world, being reborn in human world. And this is the first destination. The second destination is going to the heaven. Sometimes some people reborn in the heaven. This is the second destination. These 2 are good reward. Others are not good. And number 3 is called the Piti Vidya. Piti Vidya is the being reborn in the ghost war, in the Beta war. We cannot, even though we cannot see them, this existence is real. I want to share a very interesting thing which have been to one of our devotees. And 2016, one lady from the one family passed away. She's about 45 years old. She passed away suddenly. And her relatives, they just, on the 7th day, they just uh, go to cemetery and they just invite. Actually, the lady may not be there, but they invite people, their aunts to come and share the merit, and they perform meritorious deeds. And the lady, even after the ceremony is finished, at the night time, on the upper upstairs of the house, and the upstairs of the house, they had the sound of the feet walking, and they just go and check. They feel the footprint. They see the footprints, and they just take the picture with their smartphone, and they just send me the picture. I tell them, you must do something. No, this is not the right thing. You must share the merit. Okay, that's the rule. But you must also do something again. Otherwise, it is not good. So this is what have been. And there are some such kind of thing have been. Sometimes wrong people come follow when they invite. So there are some sort of the non-visible living beings in the world. Even though we cannot see them, they do exist. But we cannot see them with our own normal eye. We cannot see them, but they do exist. They do exist in the world. So, well, what we have to understand that is that there's another dimensions of life in the world, which are beyond our understanding. Only the Buddha and enlightened saints can see it. So this is called the Beta wall, the wall of the ghost. So number four is called the animal wall. Animal wall. Sometimes some people go to and be reborn in the animal wall. This is number 4 rebirth. And number 5 is called the hell. Hell is really for bad people who have done a lot of bad things in their life. They are reborn in the hell. So altogether, these are 5 destinations of the people and all living beings. In one of these places, people are reborn depending on their good will and depending on their bad will and their own good action and bad action. So when the parents pass away, the children has to pray for them. But we don't have to worry about their reward. This is something beyond our control. So what we need to do is that we just pray for them. This way, it helps in some way. Please don't misunderstand this. Even though parents don't need the assistance of the children, it is a way of the showing respect and expressing one's gratitude to the parents. So doing charitable deeds actually benefits children fast. Other things are just only metaphysical. Okay, now let me explain the next process. Responsibility of the teachers to the students. Okay, the duty of teachers to the students. And the first duty is teach and guide them well. And the second is let them learn thoroughly. And number 3, instruct them in every aspect of subject without hiding. In this case, it's called the Atriya Moti. Atriya Moti is a handful secret of the teacher. Sometimes some teachers, they don't give all the necessary information regarding a particular subject they teach. They always leave something secret to themselves. A teacher must have sincere goodwill toward the students. He must teach them in every aspect of the subject without any, uh, without leaving any secret. So number 4, introduce them to friends for further study, for the further progress. And number 5, ensure that students are safe and well in every direction of the pursuit of progress they made. These are the 5 responsibility of the teacher. I hope there's nothing difficult, complex. Now let me explain the duty of the students. Duty of the students to the teachers. As a way of respect, the first responsibility is to rise, to get up when the teachers come into the room in order to show respect, in order to salute. And number 2, help them with their needs. Help them with their needs. It's broad, but for the student, they just only need whatever they can. They don't need to do everything. And number 3, students must be serious and keen to learn. They must not be distracted during the class. They must always pay attention. This is what it means. And number 4, look after the teacher if necessary. This does not mean you have to commit to the teacher for all his life, for all your life. You have to help whatever is necessary during your teaching and learning process. And number 5, learn and study with the seriousness and care. All these are very simple and easy to understand. Okay, now let's go ahead to the husband and wife responsibility. Husband and wife responsibility is also very important according to Buddha. The first responsibility of a husband in Pali is called samanana. Samanana. Pali word. Sam means well. Mana means devote. Devote well. But I translate as only adore her. A husband must adore his wife. This is the first responsibility. This is the mental responsibility and physical responsibility as well. All the physical action, bodily behavior, body action must be based on devotion. Now, number two responsibility in Bali is more simple. In English, we use the respect, but in Bali, I want to quote the Bali word, "Na wa manana." "Na wa manana." "Na" means not. "Wa" means dog. "Mana" means think. Don't think down on your wife. Don't think down on your wife means don't look down. Treat her with appreciation. Why this responsibility is here taught by Buddha? Because in the long-term contact with a person, you start seeing some sort of the flaw, shortcoming, and weakness. Then you develop some sort of the disrespect. Where you see shortcoming or flaw of a person, you're just trying to help and trying to see from a wider perspective of love and trying to improve those conditions instead of the looking down. So this second responsibility is do not look down on the wife, on one's own wife. Instead, appreciate her and her position as a wife. And number three responsibility is be faithful. In Pali, is much more simple. In Pali, it's called Nati Sriya. Na means not. Ti means beyond. Sriya means go. Do not go beyond your house or the prince of your house. It is an idiomatic expression. Don't cheat on your wife. This is what it means. Don't cheat on your wife. Don't look for pleasure at the others, at somewhere else, with someone else. Instead, be loyal and faithful to one's wife. Loyalty and faithfulness is very important responsibility. Okay, number 4, give necessary authority in management of some of the home affair. In Pali, it is called Asriya Wasaka. Asriya means authority. Wasaka means share, sometimes in handover. Wasaka in this case is passing authority in running affairs of the home. So as a husband, it's not necessary to give all authority, but it must share responsibility. It must share authority of the running household. That's what it means. Why this rule is here? In the Asian society, especially in the India, Middle East, patriarchal society, the husbands are like the king. They treat other members of the family, such as wife. Like they are all slaves. They are always trying to dominate. Sometimes they even abuse. This used to have been when a husband trying to behave like a dictator. So Buddha's purpose is to share responsibility, to share authority in running day-to-day affair of the household. This is what it means. Now, number 5, responsibility. Provide all the needs of a wife. Material needs, spiritual needs, all needs are to be provided by the husband. So these are altogether 5 responsibility of a good husband. If a good husband follow these 5 principles, he is equated with an angel in the heaven in Buddhist text. Now let me explain the 5 responsibility of a wife. And the first responsibility is do necessary things well. In Pali, Su San Vihita Kamanda. Su means well. San means skillfully. Vida means manage. Kamanda means affair. Keep all the affair, all the necessary things well managed. This is the first responsibility of the wife. And number 2 responsibility in Pali is Su Sanghita Prijana. Su means well. Sanghita means treated, well treated. Prijana means in-law, in relatives. In a marriage, husband and wife are not related in terms of the blood. They are complete strangers. From the wife's side, there are parents, brother and sister. From the husband's side, there are also parents and brothers and sisters and relatives. A wife need to be skillful in dealing with in-laws from both sides so that no conflict will come up. This is the purpose of this second responsibility. Treat everyone nicely from both sides. Number 3, be faithful toward husband. In Pali, it is the same Pali word for husband responsibility. Nati chariya. Na means not. Ti means beyond. Chariya means go. Not going beyond the house, beyond the fence of the house, beyond the boundary of the house. It means not cheating one's own husband. Being faithful and loyal to one's own husband, in front of the husband, also in the absence of husband. Being faithful is a very important foundation of a strong marriage. So this number 3 responsibility is mutual and mutually important. Number 4, save and protect earnings and assets well. This responsibility means that a wife is the one who have to use money, earning of the household. She must be prudent and frugal. She must be farsighted to save enough so that when the children come up, it is ready for the children's expenses, for all the household expense. So she must try to save. She must use all earnings wisely and nicely, and trying to save as much as possible so that the family will slowly set up and will become established in terms of having a good house, accommodation place, good financial security, etc. This is the purpose of this full responsibility. So husband and wife need to have careful planning for their family, for the future, etc. Together. In this case, the wife also must initiate. So number 5, responsibility in Pali is Dakasa Holdi Analta Savakaichis. This is what is said according to Buddha. Dakas means a wife must be very skillful. Analasa, she must not be lazy. She must be always motivated and active in managing household and taking care of the family. This is a number 5 responsibility. Altogether, these are 5 responsibility of the wife. Now, let me explain the responsibility of the friends. Friends have mutual responsibility. What are they? Now the first friend, his responsibility is to share what one can afford. Number 2 responsibility, speak nicely. Don't speak ill in the absence of him, behind his back. Number 3, offer help when needed. 4, treat one's friend with a goodwill. 5, don't give the promise all the time. If you have given one's promise, just keep one's word. This is altogether 5 responsibility of a friend. Now the second friend, to his friend, mutual responsibility. 1, protect the friend and the family members when necessary. In times of urgency. 2, protect his assets and material wealth when necessary, without selfish intentions. Number 3, offer refuge and critical support and shelter when an emergency comes up. Number 4, never abandon in times of danger and emergency. 5, care the friends, children, look after the friends, children, generation of children. These are altogether 5 responsibility of the second friend. Now let me explain responsibility of employer and employee. Buddha said that these are rules more than 25 centuries ago. Now let's study. Employer of employer's responsibility is the first one is to assign work duty as per the skill and capacity of the worker. This is the first responsibility. The second, give them regular wage and needs. Three, help and vent when they are sick. Four, share goodies with the workers occasionally, especially in times of the special occasions and festival celebration, etc., such as Christmas, etc., public holidays. And number five, give them leave, give them vacation at the proper time so that they can recharge and rest. These are five responsibilities of employer set by the Buddha more than 25 centuries ago, more than 2,500 years ago. They are still relevant. Now, employees' responsibility, worker responsibility. The first responsibility is be early in the work. Don't be late. Two, be late in the work. It means that work overtime when necessary. You don't need to be late all the time. When necessary, you have to work late overtime when necessary. And three, take only what is given. Don't steal without the knowledge of the owner. Take only what is formally given by the employer. And four, perform one's assigned work-related duties well. So you have to follow your performance schedules. And five, carry on complimentary words regarding work, even when you are no longer working, even when you retire from that work. Speak nicely about the employer as a way of showing a appreciation. So altogether, these are five responsibilities of the employee, worker toward their boss. These rules are still very relevant if you analyze them from today's perspective. Now let's go ahead to the responsibility of the monk. There are responsibility of the clergy or the monk and or the hermits who are living in the forest, who are living in the hermitage or monastery. Even though they don't have the family, they have to treat people like the family. How? By fulfilling these five responsibilities. What are the five responsibilities of the monks and the hermits, the ascetics, and also the priests? Number one, bar the devotees from what is wrong and evil by teaching them, by instructing them, by getting involved sometime when necessary. Number two responsibility is guide them, instruct them, teach them in the good and right thing. Like the parents, the devotees And the community members are like the children. And number 3, always keep goodwill toward members of the community. A monk or a nun, a bhikkhuni, must have goodwill toward the devotees, toward the members of the community. This is a number 3 responsibility. And number 4, enrich their knowledge and glorify their dogs. This is also very important. The purpose of life, the purpose of having relationship with the religious personnel is to have some form of guidance, some form of the advice. In order to have that, they need to have some information regarding the religious teachings and spiritual practice and spiritual path. Responsibility of the monk and the nuns and the bhikkhuni are to help them enrich their knowledge, to broaden their knowledge, and to clear their doubts and their understanding so that they can move ahead with their daily practice. And number 5, responsibility of the ascetic and the monks is to lead devotees on the path to heaven. In Buddhist text, the words is said as a sugati, not heaven. Interpretation of the heaven is not complete. The word sugati means well-being and good outcome. Good outcome is more relevant term to translate. So an ascetic, a monk, must lead the devotees toward the good outcome of everything, so that they can be happy and they can have a good rebirth, they can have overall well-being. Now, let me explain the reciprocal duty of the devotees. The first responsibility is treat the monks and the ascetics in goodwill, based on goodwill. So all actions of the devotees must be based on goodwill. And number 2, speak with the ascetic and the monks and the nuns and the bhikkhuni and based on goodwill. And number 3, keep goodwill toward the monks and the ascetic by having right attitudes. How? Because the monks and the bhikshunis and the nuns and all those living a spiritual lives are very special. It is very difficult for ordinary people to live such a spiritual life. Sometimes it's equal to self-sacrifice, sacrificing one's own pleasures and one's own joy for the sake of the leading a noble life, for the sake of promoting goodwill of the community members. So they are like the soldiers. In Buddhist texts, the monks and the bhikshunis and the nuns are compared to the warriors and soldiers. They are fighting the noble cause for promoting well-being of the public. And now, number 4 responsibility and leave the door open to offer support. This is also very clear to understand. And number 5, support them with the material needs in any way one can. So all these are 5 responsibilities of the devotees and members of the community toward the monastic. If the people can fulfill this principle, they will get good result. It will lead into well-being in every aspect of life. So these are interpersonal ethics taught by the Buddha. Even though there are very wide teachings regarding all this in the Buddhist texts, such as the Jataka stories and large areas of the Buddhist texts, Buddha mentioned about responsibilities and ethical actions to do toward each other. So now let's have a break. Let's have a break now and for 15 minutes, then we can resume later on. Now is everybody now? Hello, Gary. Is everybody in now? Corey?
I can't tell if everybody's back. Based on the time we went to break, we still have a couple minutes.
Okay. Hello? Okay.
We could probably start, Sayada.
Okay. Now let's talk about the chapter 11. Actually, in the previous week, I have talked about it a little bit, but we need to recap it so that we can appreciate our consciousness, how it is very important, how it can play a very important role in our life. In this chapter 11, psychophysical disorders, I have pointed out by quoting the Buddha's word, the importance of the mind, in our daily life. Our physical life is very much connected with our spiritual life. Spiritual life, in this case, our spiritual elements. So we should understand how the body and the mind are interrelated and interdependent and mutually contributing to all conditions, both positive and negative. In Buddhist texts, Buddha used to say very simple words in teaching the Dharma. What he said is, Dve Dhamma namin sarupenja. And there are only 2 things in life. And we need to know only 2 things. What are these 2 things? Said by Buddha in the basic young Dhamma readers, for the beginners, those who come to the Buddha's teaching. Buddha said, those 2 things are Nama and Rupa. Nama is a Pali word. It means the mind, the mental states. Second one is called rupa. Now let me explain a little bit because they are very interesting. Human consciousness in material element is called the nama. Nama originally comes from the Bali root, namut. Namut means to lean, to incline, to lean, to incline. Like the leaves and the small branches of the tree, and like the winds. Now I want to explain a little bit. The leaves of the tree, the small branches of the tree, are always unstable and always move according to the direction of the winds. When the winds blow from the south, it follows the direction of the wind. When the heavy, strong winds come from the west, it also swells according to the wind direction. When it comes from the north, and the leaves and the branch also shake and then follow the wind direction. It never remains quiet. So it moves on and on continuously. Like the way we move our hands and our gaze. When there is some sort of stimulation, such as when we hear the sound, we just turn our body back off. We turn our face and look at where the sound comes from. So this is all physical action. We used to view it as physical action. Actually, there is some unseen, unknown energy that moves our bodily action. Even when we blink our eye, even when we turn our face to see something, to check something we hear, to see something, to check something we see, and we move. What causes it? Our bodies to behave like this. According to Buddhas, it is the mind that manipulates bodily action. The mind follows the objects, stimulating objects, such as the sights, the sounds, the smell, and the taste, the touch, and all those kind of stimulating environment, which comes from the outside. So the mind is the great mover of our physical bodily movement. That's why it's called nama, namat, that which inclines, that which sways. It's a very simple and very wonderful meaning. Rupa, in this case, now let me explain the second element, rupa. Rupa is a reference for the material body. Our material body is called the rupa. Why? The original meaning of the word rupa is two meanings. It's very wonderful to explain you. The first meaning of the word rupa means to manifest in the visible physical form. This is the first meaning of the word rupa. And the second meaning of the word rupa, the term rupa, is called to transform, to undergo constant change. This is what we call rupa. In English, we call the body. The body is manifested form of our physical life. The moment our consciousness, spiritual element, take conception in our mother's womb, it is invisible, but later on, the physical elements, which have been in the forms of the fetus, slowly grew up with the passage of the time. In the first semester, second semester, trimester, the mother's womb becomes slowly visible. There's a bump come up. This is how the physical elements come up based on the consciousness. So, according to the Buddha, Nama is invisible element, which we used to refer as self, spirit, consciousness. And Rupa is what is visible, what is being manifested. And at the same time, that manifested physical element always undergo constant change and constant transformation, non-stop, continuously. To understand how the body, the material, this physical body undergoes constant change, you can go into the cold weather in the snow, or you can go out into the rain, and you can go into the hot sun from the comfort of your home. The moment you are out in the outside the house in the under the cold rain, you feel cold, you start feeling chilly, and the body transform change. Then you come back inside into your room, you start feeling warm. And in Buddhist text, the Palitan Rupa is explained in a very simple definition. Si te napi robati, o ne napi robati, wa te napi robati di rupa. The rupa, the term rupa is called because it always transform in contact with the cold. It always transform in contact with the heat. It always transform in contact with the air elements, in the contact with any elements. It always change the sensation and also body nature. Even though ordinary people who have never known, who have no knowledge about the Dhamma, cannot understand. Even such people, they can understand how the body undergo the change. When they are getting older, let's say when they reach about 40, 45, their eyesight slowly getting weaker. They start seeing the gray hairs coming up on the head. They start seeing the wrinkles on the forehead or on the chins and the neck area, etc. They start seeing such kind of transformation. The body actually is always undergoing constant change, constant transformation. That's why we have to take care of ourselves in such a coronavirus situation. We cannot even go outside because the airborne virus, coronavirus, come up. It can infect us. It can cause a lot of suffering. So the body, this physical body, known as the rupa, is always changeable, always changeable. Changeability is the chief characteristic of the body, this physical body. That's why it is called a rupa. Now I hope you understand. The term rupa means constant changeability is the chief characteristic of the rupa. So a person has these two characteristics, the mind and the body. The mind is dominance. The body is just only follower. It is a vessel. It is a follower. Whatever the mind manipulates, the body follow. The body is like the vehicle and vessel. The mind is a driver. If you have a good mind, we have the good life. If we have the bad mind, we have the bad life. If our mind is not peaceful, the body is not peaceful. If our mind is stable, our life is stable. So this is interconnected nature of the body and mind. Once you understand that, I don't need to explain more about the psychophysical disorder. You have to treat and you have to feed this physical body in the same way. You have to feed, you have to feed, you have to take care of your whole mind. But feeding the mind, taking care of the mind is not through physical food. It is through the spiritual nourishment and spiritual knowledge. In order to feed your mind, your spirit, you have to study good knowledge. You have to acquire good knowledge, wholesome knowledge of the Dharma. You have to take care of the mind by wisdom and by knowledge. This way, all the psychophysical disorder will be able to overcome. You will be able to overcome psychophysical disorders through the wisdom, knowledge, and information regarding how to take care of the body, how to take care of the mind. And now, let me go ahead what Buddha has said, the nature of the mind. Please go ahead with the nature of the mind. Corey, please. Okay. The nature of the mind, what Buddha says is very clear. The mind is volatile, hyperactive, restless, whenever it comes in contact with the external stimulants, external stimulating environment. So what you need to do is follow the Buddha's advice. What Buddha says is very clear. Now you see in your note, Donikata, Donikasa Lahuno, Jataka Nipadino, Chaitasa Damato Sadhu, Chaitam Dandan Sukhawan. What Buddha says very clear. Do nikha si, do difficult, nikha manage, sa off, of the mind, which is difficult to manage. Lahu, no. Lahu means so fast, no means off, so fast. The mind which used to happen so fast within a nanosecond. It happens millions of times, so fast. You cannot even measure. Subatomic particles and their speed may have some sort of measurement method, such as the cyclotron or excellent high energy physics. But there is no way to measure the mind. That's why Buddha said, Dunikata, difficult to manage, and Lahuno, which used to arise so fast, Yata Kama Nipasino. Yata means wherever. Kama means wish. Nipadi fall. The mind used to fall wherever it wants. Siddhartha of such a mind, Dhammator, training, sadhu is good. Training of the mind, which is very difficult to manage, which used to arise in a so fast and which used to fall on everywhere it wants, is very good, very wonderful training. Take down the mind. Dandan, well-trained mind. Sukha Wahan. Sukha means every kind of happiness. Auhan means can bring can bring every kind of happiness. A well-trained mind can bring joy, can bring peace, can bring satisfaction, can bring in all kind of joy. That's what Buddha said. These words are very inspiring and very truthful because these words convey the characteristic of the mind more than modern psychologists, very world famous psychologists uh, mention about the mind. Buddha mentioned about the mind more than 26 centuries ago. He saw the true nature of the mind, how to manage, how to train the mind, how well managed, well trained mind can bring out wonderful joy and the best of everything in life. Now we can see this in everyday situation. Only people with a very calm and stable mind can face the challenge, such as this very terrible pandemic. We all are in the lockdown. Everybody is finding it very difficult to cope with the staying in the home in a confined place for long period of the time. Most people they don't know how to use their precious time. They just only think watching TV, watching computer game, or doing something, whatever their mind wants, is the best. So they do whatever thing they want, depending on their wish. Some of people, they even drink and they do a lot of things while they are in lockdown. A well-trained person who have the knowledge of the Dhamma can use this wonderful opportunity of lockdown by focusing on the wonderful things such as studying the Dhamma, practicing meditation, doing necessary exercise, and reflecting on the nature of life, how precarious this life is, how precarious and vulnerable our bodies are. Once we understand that, uh, we can appreciate every day, every hour, every moment of life by wonderful pursuits, by making wholesome things, by doing good, meaningful things instead of the drinking, instead of the watching entertainment all the time. So this is like a good company. If you know the Dhamma, if you know the how to keep your mind calm, you know how to use it. And the mind is like a very naughty, very playful boy and chill. It needs something. It needs something to toy with. It needs something to keep it occupied. So the teaching of the Buddha is a wonderful spiritual tool which you can use occasionally. I don't mean you have to meditate all the time. I don't mean you have to be, you don't need to be a monk, you don't need to be a bhikshuni, you don't need to go to the temple. You just only need to understand this wonderful gift of the Buddha, which comes up in the form of the wisdom and knowledge, and in the form of the spiritual tradition known as the meditation. If you can use it, it will keep a good company. You can have a good company, good medicine handy. You can use it so that every lives become peaceful, livable. Otherwise, very difficult to live in such a painful situation. Life is full of so many bad and negative things. Even though we can try our mind, mental attitude to be positive, to stay positive, to remain positive, to determine based on positive attitude. At the same time, we have to have this kind of wonderful spiritual tools of, which comes from Buddhism to use as a good source of help, good source of companionship. Then mental and physical bad situations will be okay. You will be able to overcome all those kind of the physical disorders. Okay, now uh, con- let's go ahead to next page. Anxiety be okay. Let's go ahead to next page. Anxiety, fear is okay. It's okay. Let's go ahead to. Okay, stop here. Depression, impulse control. Impulse control, anxiety. All these are related with the mind. Those who have been through bad situation, such as the war or in today's situation, pandemic, we have anxiety. Everybody are worried about this disease and this virus situation. We have to have the right attitude. How? Do whatever we can do, such as a precautionary preparation. At the same time, do whatever we are required to do. The outcome will be okay. Even if some unnecessary situation, unwanted situation come up in worst case scenario, you have to be able to live through those situations. Because in Buddhist text, we are compared to the travelers on the journey of life. When we are traveling, we need necessary provision. We need necessary equipment. We need necessary preparation, such as torchlights, some sort of the arms, weaponry, and some sort of strong clothing, depending on the situation. And we need drying foods and rations. We also need to learn the nature of the road. We also need to expect the unexpected things on the way, so that in case some unexpected thing come up, we will be able to handle, to move through, and to proceed the journey by overcoming those kind of challenge. Buddha compare people like the traveler, the tourist on the journey. If we are not equipped with the necessary provision, necessary ammunition, necessary stuff, in case we face something on the road, such as, let's say, in this case, Buddha said, a snake. A snake is on the way ahead of you. What are you going to do? Depending on the snake size, you have to avoid it or you have to handle it. If you have a stick, if you have some sort of the necessary protective gear, you can protect it. You won't be caught unaware. You won't be shocked to find a snake. You are already prepared to handle the snake. If you have some sort of necessary protective gear, such as a stick or a weapon, it's okay. You can go ahead. You can overcome that challenge and you continue. Then you will see some sort of the fire, forest fire burning. Then you have to avoid forest fire by necessity, by all available means. And when you feel thirsty, you have to drink the water you bring along with you. In case there's no more water left, you have to find the source of the water. And luckily you found out a pond with a clear water. You just use that water after making sure this is safe. If the water is not good quality, because there's uh, full of the other things, such as moss, algae, and then you have to remove all those kind of stuff. And you have to sieve that water by using a strainer. This is a very difficult journey. Without that water, you cannot continue your trip. So you have to use that water, but you cannot use that water right away because have a lot of some impurities. So you have to strain. You have to strain by using a sieve. In the same way, when you are going through the journey of life, you will encounter a lot of good and bad things, sometimes the worst things, the darkest moment of your life. Sometimes you have to deal with a bad guy, really, really bad guy, who always create a lot of problems, who cause a lot of pain and suffering. In this case, you have no choice except to deal with that person. This is like the water you have to drink. There is some sort of the impurities, his physical action, verbal action, or his mental state are very difficult to accept. But you have to look for the bright side of the water, and just trying to sieve it and trying to strain it. Just only take whatever is available and drinkable in order to continue your journey. That's what Buddha said. When we are living everyday life, we we come across bad people, we come across bad situation. We have to understand our the best defense is our mind, our wisdom, our knowledge, and our preparation. These are wonderful resources. We have to use all these. And this way we have to overcome this challenge. This is what Buddha has said. Let things come up and just live through it without fear and anxiety. Now, impulse control. We have the impulse, such as based on anger or just only ordinary impulse. For example, in today's time, we have the smartphone. Sometimes we have some song, whenever the message come up, whenever some sort of the uh, people, some sort of information come up, we hear the ringing sound. In the beginning, we got distracted. We trying to check, but later on, we just take it easy. We develop the easy and relaxed attitude. When necessary, you check the message. When necessary, you just listen your phone. Sometimes when you are engaged in some important things, such as meditating or taking rest and you are asleep or doing some important thing, you just simply let go. Unless you are a president or prime minister, you just develop the right attitude. This way you can control your impulse. But regarding desire, such as lust and anger, it's a little bit difficult unless you are trained in your mental management. If you are already practice meditation, such as mindfulness meditation in the long-term retreat, you know how to control it. You just observe your desire and you just let go of it. This is just only an example how to control our mental impulse and obsessive compulsive disorder. This one is also a problem with some people. Some people are very much obsessed with their cleanliness. Some people are very much obsessed with the germs and infection. In today's time, the situation is much worse. So they repeatedly wash their hands and their hands and their feet, and they repeatedly clean. They repeatedly use the sanitizers and such kind of situation, depending on situation. But you have to do when necessary. When not necessary, you just simply ignore, develop, develop the relaxed attitude. Now, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. This usually happens those who have who have been through bad situation. This also depends on how strong your mind is. In order to have strong mind, you have to train your mind. But for people, for the ladies, for the girls and women who have been through very bad situation, tragic situation of rape, very difficult. But they have to reflect. There are certain ways and methods of overcoming one's own emotion, clearly explained in Buddhist texts. I want to share not all of that, but a few. The body is like a vehicle of existence. We have the body will go through different situations. Sometimes when a tragic situation come up, we are really angry at that person who commit that crime. When this happens, we have a lot of anger, sometimes a lot of sadness. Instead of the keeping those kind of bad mental states, we have to try to reflect on the cause of such kind of incidents. Due to some unfortunate time or bad karma, that person come in contact with that bad guy. That bad guy commit bad crime. And as a result of that bad crime, that criminal is also going to have the same consequence like the victim. One day he's going to have this same fate like the victim. Once we have this kind of understanding, we need to develop compassion. We need to let go of things, whatever have been. Whatever has happened is already happened. It cannot be undone. It cannot be undone. It is already happened. So we just accept it. And we're just trying to move on with the proper mental condition by developing proper mental state. This way, such kind of bad tragic situation can be overcome. In this case, Buddha's teachings are very wonderful. Now I want to share one important, very recent tragedy happened in the New York. I have a close family living in the New York and the Brooklyn. 4 family members, the father, the mother, all passed some D. And the children, 1 son, 1 daughter. They are only 42 and 41 years old. And they all get this coronavirus infection. And as they are living in the same household, you can imagine how tragic, how bad it will be. When one person is infected, the other person got infected. There's no way out because they are living in an apartment. So unluckily, the, the husband, who is about 75 years old, passed away. He has no bad hair condition, even though he has diabetic. He has to have the regular dialysis. His health is really good and very strong because he eat only healthy food. He did regular exercise, and he has to go to the one day he has to go to the hospital to get dialysis. Once he is there, he got infected. When he came back, he already got the infection, and within 2 days he passed away. They have to call the ambulance, and they have to send to the hospital. In the hospital, he passed away. The children, the daughter and the son have no chance to see. Only the daughter still going strong. So she even have no chance to see the face of her father. The mother is on the bed. They are still having this infection, even though the mother and the daughter are recovering, and the son is still going through the coronavirus infection. I talk with him. I just asked him how they can cope with the loss of their father. One day everything is happening. Whatever happened is happening. We just only have to accept it through the understanding of Buddha's teaching. Everything is impermanent. Everything is vulnerable. Everything is precarious. This existence in our life. Our bodies are subject to this kind of situation. Our life is also same subject to this condition. We just accept it. Instead, we practice meditation, we reflect on these things. So they don't have any bad, very serious emotional problem, except some sort of the very mild form of sadness and grief. It is not overwhelmed. It doesn't overwhelm them. So this is how they overcome such kind of traumatic and bad situation. Now let me go ahead to the other the psychosis problem. This is also uh, preventable. Schizophrenia sometimes happen for the people whose physical bodily elements are out of balance. Sometimes this happens schizophrenia, who are mentally weak, basically mentally weak people who never have any kind of knowledge how to take care of their mind. Most people they understand only how to take care of their own body. They know how to take care of the body. Every morning when they wake up, wash their face, brush their teeth, and clean themselves up by taking shower, by dressing up themselves. They know everybody in the world know how to take care of the body. But most people, unfortunately, don't know how to take care of the mind. Mental care and mental management is a necessary aspect of a good life. If we take care of the mind, such as learning about the mind and mental situation and different mental disease, how they are caused, and what is the cause, then we know, for example, one of the cause of the mental disease is sleep. If we have the sleep problem, if a person cannot sleep well, then mental problem will slowly come up. And another cause is emotional attachment to certain things, such as addiction of the game, addiction to the gambling, addiction to the some particular stuff, such as alcohol and drinking and drug. Very, very dangerous. It can lead to mental problem. And also attachment to one's own material wealth, and attachment to one's own body, obsession with some certain thing, and can lead to mental problem. We have to have relaxed attitudes toward everything in our life, even to our beloved ones, such as one's beloved wife, and beloved husband, beloved kids, and one's cherished gold and money, house and cars and everything. We have to have relaxed attitude. One day we are going to be separated from those we love so much, from those possessions we love. Or one day they are going to leave us for some cause, due to some reason, either while we are alive or on death. Once we understand this kind of separation, eventual separation, while alive or on death, we will be able to develop this relaxed attitude. May all of you be able to develop this relaxed mental attitude through wisdom, through rights and knowledge of the noble teachings of the Buddha. May you can live this life nicely, wisely, and joyously. Now let's have a break now.
Okay, we're breaking for lunch at this point, or
Let's have a break now.
what time are you wanting us to return in Sayada?
At the end of afternoon, about Central Time, CST at 2 o'clock. What time we start in the last week?
I believe 1. So it would be 2 hours from now.
Yeah, 2 hours. Yeah, yeah.